Hello and welcome. My name is Nilaus. This is episode 71 of our Let's Play campaign of Factorio. The series is called Final Factory. So this episode will be slightly different from pretty much all the other ones because I'll be focusing on a base tour of the entire base and trying to explain the concept of what I have built, the thoughts about what I will build, and potentially maybe also highlighting some issues that I'm currently seeing. So if you haven't followed all of the previous episodes, this is a good place for you to catch up and just sort of see the whole concept of it. Let me just start by just highlighting how the base works. This is my starter base up here. It's one big roboport network. It is walled in, 20 roboports on each side. This is what I call a starter base. And it runs with a normal main bus. Let's have a look at that and start from scratch or some here. Let's actually, just for your sake, basically get some nasty fuel in here. Hold it in my hand. It's nuclear fuel. Okay, let's see how many times I run into things during this episode. So far, as long as I move straight up and down, it's working fine. All right, so let's see. I am going up here. Alright, this is where some of the very basic stuff. In this area, this is my starter base. I think my spawn location is somewhere around here. And I have my production plants of coal. They used to be belted in, but now no longer. It is controlled here. This is a good little trick. You control the water input through an accumulator, because all accumulators are linked together. So the accumulator will be, as long as it's 100%, if it falls below 20%, this pump will be enabled. You say that sends an output A, and then it wires in. So this is the easiest way to start and stop the coal power plants. Again, that goes here. That's just legacy things. Actually, now that we see it, I can see we can also just start cleaning up some of that old junk here. No point having that around anymore. And, oh, okay. Why is that not being picked up? Okay, just do that one. Pick it up. That's interesting. Alright, don't care. Just do something. Alright, so this is an amendment I did as I ran out of iron. I am running out of iron here. So I added another train that comes in, goes back and forth. This is an amendment to the base, so we're not going to take a look at it right now. Careful about that car. Oh, that was a successful Kiki challenge. As you can see here, the robots are pretty strained in this area. I've just decided that all the things come in here. They used to be housed in this area. This is actually our initial copper deposit. There's still a bit left. Actually interesting. And some of it goes up here whenever I have enough of it. It's about 400,000. I also have 700,000 stone, which means I can easily do it. So all these were built extremely early, but have been sort of repurposed time and time again. I am deliberately not putting any modules and beacons in because I think that's a bit of a waste to do. I'm doing it for this part, which is the steel part, because, well, I like steel and I'm going to use a lot of it, and it takes a lot of space if I don't put modules on it. Then we get to sort of the normal base here. 8 lanes of copper. 8 lanes of copper, 6 lanes of iron. It actually fits quite well. A lot of it goes in here. This one is important for one reason. This is also completely unbeaconed, unmoduled. This is of course a huge waste, but what should happen is exactly what happens here. I am using my new base as a surplus, as a production facility to get green circuits in here, and once they go in, they're going to take up the entire belt, and all of these will start stalling. And then it'll get saturated, and that's why we don't actually use so much materials, because a lot of the materials goes in here. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 belts worth of materials that get replaced. These are the 4 belts that comes out instead. That's nice and neat. All these things, they're just normal ones. This is normal little mall. Some of the things I have deliberately built so that I could scale them up, such as the oil facility. It's not really big, but it's working all the time. You can see here, just every single one is working. They're just feverishly converting everything into petroleum, pretty much. And that still retains the highest. I built this strange little thing here, where I'm basically taking these 4 going that way, and these 4 going that way, and then they go in here and merge. So I have basically 2 belts. See? 2 belts is a bit of a strange way of doing it, but it means that I can get a full blue belt in here, which is what I need. I have repurposed my red circuit build, just experimenting how it works, and it works really, really well. That's really good. So we have also red belts. All of these things are now fully saturated. Getting all of these things. I am flying out the sulfur with robots. I just added that so I could take it out later. And you can see here, we just go straight further down the belt. And you know what? I forgot my car. Let's go back for the car. Here it is. There's still some old power poles. I do not intend to go back and clean this up. No matter how much you say, oh, it's easy, you just do. No, I'm not. I don't bother. It's that simple. So moving further down, one thing we want to check out is the rocket silo. It goes not particularly fast, but it does go. 55 rockets launched. They just chug along here. This one, 6, 7, 8. So clearly it's not exactly keeping up. Oh, there we go. That's another one. But it's, on the other hand, it just means it's going. So it's 55 now. I don't really have a base that can support bigger than this. So that's why I'm building a new base. But the starter base is primarily, yes, it'll get this. And I don't know why I'm getting artillery range. I just got caught up in the whole artillery thing. So at the end of the bus, I'm basically just taking things into chests and then building a small little robotized mall here where I build pretty much everything I want. Some of the things that are created further up in the normal base, they just left there. But these are the things that I don't need a lot of. But once in a while I need a bit, and therefore I create them here. So that's basically this base. There are some things that are rather active, like this. What an absolute waste of modules, but that's the way it is. Once I start shooting, this one will run out very, very fast, very quickly. So I need some other measure of that. Let's actually do this. Yeah, that's a bit insane, but that's just the way it is. I don't carry any belts with me anymore or any red circuits. So here we have some nuclear fuel, also just crafting it as fast as I can. I don't need it much. I need some way of finding how to get it into base. But what is this base, what its main problem is, it's running out of materials. I'm at some point in the not too distant future, we're still at 372. Didn't we have, so we lost like 22,000 over the last 10 minutes or so. So yeah, copper is gonna run out soon. I have a few that I can tap in, but they're very boring. Let's look at the power, because that's actually quite interesting in this context. I've decided against my better judgment to go nuclear instead of solar, because I always go solar. Oh, right. This one is so important. Oh, I remember that. I saw that some time ago. That one. Hold on. I have to do that one. There. Yeah, I have to explain what I'm doing here. There. Okay, so the problem is, if we look at the logistics and uranium, I have 35,000 of these, and I have absolutely none of the other ones. That's insane, because this one has been working too efficiently, so now I don't have any of the normal ones left. These are here, there's 70, but every time there's a single one of the other ones, then... God, can this one be modular? Oh, it can. Why did I not do that like millions of years ago? That's interesting. Really, that's... Well, speaking about also detecting errors, well, there we go. Error detected. This one can be done much nicer. We're not going to go do that now. We can come back to do that later. This is about the base tour. So up here we have, like, this is my UPS efficient, kind of symmetrical a nuclear power plant. It produces 480 megawatts. It has 4 reactors, hence the 480. It's a nice little grid here. It is taking too many. You can see here the performance. All of these are not running at 100%, even though the boilers, the heat exchangers, they're not boilers, the heat exchangers are running at 100%. Then I have overscaled it so it becomes a much simpler pattern. I really like that way of doing it. It was a suggestion instead of having Steam things, and it is in the effort to save on the updates. However, I have also changed it. And I have now built the new generation. This is a nuclear power plant consisting of 8 reactors. So this generates 1,120. Why is it? I don't know if that's a good number, but it's definitely bigger. How is that not more than? It should be more. The air hot ton. So this one counts as 3, 6, 12 plus 24. That's 28. That is 1,120. It's not much different from just 2 of the other ones. I do get a small bonus, but what I want to do, of course, is take this thing here, place one here, smash that one down, and place one here. I think that's going to be like the next time I need power. At this point, power 1.8, 1.9, it'll peak a bit more once all the fuel is operational. Let's have a look at the perimeter, because the perimeter is also something that's quite neat, I think, and has worked exceedingly well. Oh, that's a dead space here. Oops. Well, that's the one crash. I think there's someone always counting my crashes. This thing is my perimeter. And I deliberately leave a space here because then I can run in and out quite simply. It also means that, at least in theory, they should be coming here, getting shot, and try to calculate the shortest path. If they calculate the shortest path as in through, then they'll start chewing in the walls. But if they calculate the shortest path as in, oh, there's a path here, then they'll funnel in here instead, and they'll have a longer walking path, and therefore they'll be shot before they start chewing too much in the walls. All of this is one single network all the way around, which means sometimes someone up here could risk getting all the way down there. It doesn't happen very often, and when it happens, I don't care. Let's move into the new part of the base. And you can see here, this one is working really well until it stops working really well, obviously. Oh, right. This one is also important. This is, oops, basically the most important part of the base. Oh, why do I have some of these? I shouldn't have. Yeah, this part. This is just continually making modules, because I always need more. This is basically, at some point, I'll switch off the science, so the only thing it builds is this. This will be the purpose of this database, building materials for crafting and more modules. So I have 550, and it's just not enough. With my new base, I need thousands and thousands of modules. Now let's head down. So as you can see here, now we transition into the new base. The new base starts here. They are in separate networks. Let's start with the network, or let's start without that. Okay, so yes, I accidentally made a city block design again. I love the city block design. It's much wider than I normally make it. It also has some buffers. Basically, I have a location here that does iron plates, copper plates, and then one location for routing and stacking. And then you can see here, yep, that's a flurry of activity. Let's actually go down there, because this one is working and is working quite well. So here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, I know that YouTube algorithm and millions of busy bees here are not working very well. It's 2,000 logistics bots that are active at any given time. I don't even know when it's saturated. How much is on this train? It's 49. Okay, 49,000. It's here. When it fills up, it will be again brought in here, which actually needs it again. So it is consuming quite a bit. The other side is for the green circuits. All of this is now moduled, and if I was correct here, it says 1.1. 1,152 is the number it can produce per second. per second, yes. However, it requires a full supply of copper and iron, and that comes in from these two locations, which we'll also look at. So that's basically the idea, is that I'll be making these blocks once I've designed them. Oh yeah. Come on, another crash. So what is the most important about this base is the perfect alignment to the grid. It's something I've never done before and is a nice design challenge. Adds a bit more extra to everything, and it looks really, really neat now that it's done. It does put some constraints on pure optimization in here, but I like that challenge. You can see there are some gaps here and there that just have to be there. So we have a little copper location here that tries to get some copper in. And the trains are, well, trains basically, they can run in two locations here. They can run here or they can run there. And some places they run both places. Here, for example, you can see this is an oil location coming from this oil well going in. And the other one is a coal location that comes from, okay, that comes from quite far away. There. How much do we have? 14,000? Yeah. So the idea here is that I create locations. Let's go to one of the other active locations. I really should be driving on the roads now that I built such nice roads. Up here and go to our copper. So the issue with the copper is the fact that I don't get enough copper ore in. What do we have here? We have 24. Just get it out there, just so I'll be happy. So basically all of this is here, and this builds 818 per second, and that's going to be like my benchmark. What I have done some calculations is, if I have a similar one for iron, let's tap this off, even though it's nice to look at. If I get the iron plus the copper plus the steel plus the plastic, they actually can produce green circuits, red circuits, in order for us to build. Well, the red circuits are here. The green circuits go into the mining drills here. That's actually a few. And engines, that's the steel. That's where you need the steel. Engines, let's have a look at the engines. Oh, they're also here. Engines, there. That's the steel. So once I have all of this, that should in almost exactly, because it's going to be mainly constrained on iron, exactly make 3,000 science packs per minute. And that's what I'm going to work on. So basically the next tier out here, I'll have a stacker level here. Then I'll have locations where I build miners. And oh, actually I could build the miners here and the engines here. Oh, that's nice. So I should, let me just mark that. That's a way better idea. So I built the miners here, and that one will be engines. Boom. Yep, they're going to be here. And then that means at somewhat like here, I can do the very first of the signs. Then I, of course, have to find a way so that the signs produced down here actually goes in and starts taking over for this pathetic science that doesn't even have a beacon or what is it, modules in it. Quite pathetic. There we go. Now we see it in action. Leaping into action. How fast it empties. It does not go out because there is nowhere it can go. Let's just see. These are disabled, and that one's also disabled. Only when one of these become enabled will it drive out. What I should be doing soon is tapping this one, getting it in, and because I think, what is this, 2.2 million plus 1.5 million plus, I don't know what's down here, not much. It's just not enough to feed it. So I need to tap one more copper deposit around here. Could also start taking some of these up here, but once I go further up, like that one, 36, or that one, these two, that's going to be 12 million. That's going to be for the next locations. Let's move further down. You can see here how fast it gets stuck. So what I'll then do is I will, since this is the first ones, I will keep these sizes, but it means that next time when I need to build yellow science, red science, well, that's going to be a blue. Why would I call it blue? Copper and an iron. That's it. When I make green, it would be a copper, iron, and green, and then into. But I don't want to build a green circuit that produces 1,152 green circuits per second, because I'm not going to use that for 3000, because this one inserter is 1. Yeah, and this will be moduled again because it's the science pack here can be moduled with 40%. So if I want to produce 3000 per minute, that would be 50 per second, and then I divide by 1.4, and that gives me pretty much 36 per second. So why would I build this thing here that produces 1152 when all I need is 36 per second? That's the critical part. But there will be most likely be places where I need this huge one, because, for example, when I need to make blue circuits for the yellow signs, then I might actually need it. So that's basically it. Let's have a look at the plastic. The plastic is quite ingenious, if I should say so myself. I have built it on liquids, which means I have a liquid train, liquid oil train, a liquid water train, and coal, which you need for plastic, and then the plastic out. Really, really neat as well. I need to see how much it produces. Didn't I place one up here? That, oh yeah, here. 1. I did not calculate it, I guess. Did not calculate it. And what I can also see is that I have not been able to put these into all of them. I must have run out. Anything else I'm running out? Nope. Okay, that was an unfortunate run to run out of, because that's kind of the expensive materials. Although it is all of it free. Car. Okay, let's have a look at the red circuits, because that's going to be the last one. We have the steel here. We built that last time, so no reason to dive back into that one. Also, we should look at our perimeter defense, because I'm really proud of it. I know that there are some who think I spent too much time on it, but since this is a series where I will be making a Megabase on camera all the time, I need to spend time also on clearing biters. If I don't, well, then it doesn't make sense. So here we have, again, I wish everything it was light all the time. It just flickers so much every time I touched it here. This is completely idle because in this area we have 633,000 red circuits ready to go. That's kind of a bit of excessive, but yeah, it is what it is. Green circuits are coming in, copper's coming in, plastic is coming in, everyone's happy. Red circuits ready to go out and become blue signs. Okay, so let's have a look at this location. Let's start by illustrating how it works. So each of these tentacles, tendrils, spears, whatever it is a separate roboport. Yeah, I know this one. Some will be driven crazy by it. So let's look at the other one where you don't get... No, this is also like that. Ah, of course. That's because it had to be like this. I had to move this one, just move it slightly in so that it didn't conflict. Anyway, what happens here? Let's go up there. Is that this is a separate network. It is supplied from the main base with all of these materials coming in here. This is what I need to build. It is constructed through the use of 2 blueprints. The reason why they have this specific size, aside from the fact that they can fit on a site, is that this is the size where where when I get to the end here, if I make it bigger than this, the radar, which I have at the bottom here, will not be able to be seen. If I place it like this, if I build it bigger, it wouldn't be able to place it. So that's the part. And then I alternate the spear formation here. It basically starts with, this is a normal one. It has a radar. It has an arrows formation, and a small one, a big one. Yeah. So it has basically small, medium, medium, small, and then the last one. And then it has 3 of the small ones. Okay. Here, 1, 2, 3. And then we go into another one of the radars. of the artilleries are here, and that means if I look at the artillery range, they can clear out quite a space around my base. But you can also see there are some quite big bases just outside our reach. At the moment, if I look at my pollution, I'm just going to uncheck this one. The pollution is safely away from all biters. Didn't I see something strange here? Yeah, those. So this is what I have to be very mindful of. See here? That's actually approaching. And that's something we are going to have to be a bit worried about. All the way up here, this is good. I don't want any biters inside my pollution cloud. And as I expect to just work my way down and out this way, and the mines out this way, sometimes maybe I'll also build like a driving path all the way through, then I'm only expanding downwards. If I expand it upwards as well, then the further we get away from the origin is right here. So I decided I would expand downwards, also because this is where I have the materials. I expand downwards and out to the sides because it isn't really difficult to expand. It's simply just placing the blueprint. The robots in this network will take care of everything from there. So that's something to keep in mind. This one as well. Keep going on that. And they are just, you can see the area that I have is defined by how far I can shoot out. I've shot out all the way around just to get as big area as possible. I like this little, it's a little man or something. I don't know what it is. That's probably someone who sees some obscure things in it. But that works really well. And basically all I need to do if I decide that I want to pick a fight with someone, I can just go down here and just pop these. I'm going to start to do these sort of at the end of my episodes, after when I end the episode and say thank you for this time and now blah 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 blah. Then while I just copy the files internally, I just shoot a bit down here like this, so that it doesn't take time on camera, but I don't sit here for hours upon hours and shoot. At this point, I don't need to clear any further out because I have plenty of good materials I can take. Though I don't dare, for example, claim this one. This one, however, I want to claim. That one as well. This is okay. That one, not so much because it's still pretty close. When I get the next artillery, then I'll be I'll get bigger, and I could probably just get a tiny bit further out. And I might just do that just so that we always have pushed it out as far as possible. Wait, we got one more rocket. We are gonna wrap this one up. So this should be the idea of the base. What will happen from now on is that I'll be making more of these bases. I'll be starting to make some of the more advanced stuff. And these will simply be blueprints I stamp down once I need more. And so with the build a green, simply going through this all the way up to making these materials, making blue science, then making red, green, gray, let's call it military, purple, yellow, and maybe down here eventually I will get rockets launched, and then getting all of it up into a single location that handles all the process. So that's going to be my plan. I hope that it will pan out. This is a big plan, and as you know, I will have one episode for each supporter. So the more supporters, the longer it will run. I am building towards 300 episodes, but I don't think I'll get to 300. I'll go to 200. That's why it's called Final Factory, because I don't think I'll be playing anymore after this, because it's going to last until the spring or maybe even further than that. Hopefully I can keep it at 60 UPS. So far it's not really a problem. Anyway, time for us to wrap up. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope to see you next time as we progress with more tech in the base. Until then, take care. Bye.